Hi there, it's me, it's Mike, and it's way past time that I got to Star Wars The Black Series, A New Hope, Momaw Nadon, or Hammerhead. Whatever you call him, that's what I call him too. A fun fact about this figure, Momaw Nadon, or Hammerhead, as we called him for a long time, he was my first Star Wars figure ever. My grandpa ran a homeless shelter, and they would get toy donations, and sometimes he would let me look through them and take one toy. Now, you might say, Mike, wasn't that for a needy family? Yeah, my family wasn't well off. My granddad ran a homeless center. They weren't rich. Sometimes I got to take one toy. And this time I saw him sitting on a pile and I was like, I like the look of that guy. I had no idea who he was. It's taken us 11 years to get to this. I'm very excited to get to this. He is one of the staples of Mos Eisley Cantina during Star Wars. One of the most iconic scenes in the whole of I would say all of Star Wars, really. There's a lot you can know about him, but you don't really need to know much. He is a goofy looking guy. I thought he was E.T. for the early years of my life because he just he has that vibe about his head, and I can't stress this enough, I was a stupid kid. Didn't change much growing up. But yeah, let's not talk too much about him and let's actually get into the toy, shall we? So here we have Momaw Nadon in his box here, and I just wanted to take a quick look at what he looks like here before I rip it open. We can see what he comes with. This is a newer style box. We have the mural on the side. I do love these boxes. He is a deluxe figure, as you can tell by the box. It's a larger box. One of the questions I'll be looking at is, does he deserve a deluxe price? Based on everything he comes with, all of his paint and stuff like that. But you know what? I mean, I talked about this at the beginning. I love the character so much, I was gonna buy him anyway. There wasn't a world in which I wouldn't personally buy Momaw Nadon, but miles may vary. So real quick, on the back here, we have his little bio. It says, an exile from Ithor. Momaw Nadon was a rebel sympathizer who cultivated a hidden garden in the mountains south of Mos Eisley. And that's basically all there is to him. There was a story about him in Tales of Mos Eisley Cantina, and there might have been something, I believe this little blurb comes from the From a Certain Point of View collection of short stories. I might be wrong. I haven't read it, but I believe that's right. But I did read the Tales from Mos Eisley Cantina way back in the day, but I honestly couldn't tell you one thing about what happened in that because that came out in like 1996, and that's when I read it. And that's 32 years ago now. Oh God, I'm so old. So yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and get him out of the box here. Okay, so here we have him out of the box, and I've spent a few minutes just kind of messing around with him before I've talked about him. You know, it's really hard to want to get right into him when the obvious question is, how does he stack up with Doc Ondar here, who was the first Ithorian we've had in the line, and only one of a few I would even want them to make. The other ones of obviously being Mayor McCheese from Book of Boba Fett, and maybe the Ithorian Jedi from the 2003 Clone Wars series 100%. We'll get into that in a bit, but I want to just talk about Momaw Nadon here, and I want to focus on this head. Oh my goodness, this head is incredible. He does have a little bit, with the way they've sculpted his eyes half closed, or half open, I guess, depending on your point of view. They give him sort of a baked look. He's definitely contemplating the finer things in the universe right now while wishing he had some munchies. But the paint on his head is so good. There's a super nice wash that brings out all of the details in there, and there's tons of sculpting. His two mouths, Ithorians have two mouths, one on each side, which is a cool detail. I don't know, are these guys slugs? How would you categorize these? It's so weird because it's a very humanoid body, but from here up is where it gets weird. Obviously, they've got weird trunk-like legs. Like these are like elephant legs. And again, that same sculpting on the head is there in the forearms. Lots of great paint. It's not just colored plastic. There's a wash in there to bring out all of the different wrinkles sculpted in the skin. There's really nice shading on there on both the forearm and in the hand. And of course, down here on the little trunky legs, there's tons of paint. This is exactly what we've been wanting from the Black Series here. But I never know what you could really categorize this guy as. Like, what do you think? Is he a mollusk? Like, I don't know. But, just the paint work on here is fantastic. We talked about, his head, but he does have this little scarf. I don't think this is painted, but it might be. It might have some kind of shading on there. I don't know. It's nice, though. It's a soft rubber sort of scarf, and he does have this. This is accurate to what we saw in the movie. He's got his little shirt here sculpted. It is an overlay. And then we have stuff underneath, although you really can't see it. The overlay there is the important part. We have his sleeves that match the shirt. He has a belt, and that's got some nice little paint apps. We got the gold here. We got this little rope part going around to all his little baggies and stuff around there. And then, of course, he does have his little shipwreck pants, where it looks like he's like a castaway washed up on an island. I don't even know how he gets these pants on, because they don't. And they probably stretch, but like they don't look wide enough to fit over these feet. Like, how does he get them on? Does he just never take them off? I don't know. And then, of course, down here on his toesies, we have these nice little elephant feet again. I don't know. Oh, they're kind of dinosaur-y. They're like stubby little dinosaur toes, but like the cute kind of dinosaur with these little toenail claw things, but they're not claws. They're too soft and rounded to be claws, but they look good. Even his little dew claws back here for stability. Everything here looks good. I'm gonna say so far, the paint on here, fantastic. But also, I want to talk about the head. This head is incredible. The movement you get on here, like he can cock his head to the side, both sides, up and down, all the way around. Like, this has got some great range of movement on here. There is, of course, a butterfly joint here on his shoulders. Like, I feel like there doesn't have to be. He doesn't do anything where he needs it, but I'm glad they have it. Really nice deep cut at the elbow with a little swivel. He does have a swivel and a hinge at the wrist. This wrist hinges this way, I guess. I was going to say both of them hinge the same way, but they don't. This one hinges this way. He does have a nice it's a waist joint. This is not really a torso cut, because I would say torso cut's more there, but it's got a really good range of movement. You can really get some good range of movement out of this guy here. He does have legs that go back and forth, but it's a little hindered by the hard rubber skirt. But I want to point out, he does have a thigh cut and a thigh swivel, which has been missing from a lot of figures, probably because he shares these parts with Doc Onder, and Doc Onder has existed longer than that thigh cut's been gone. So I'm guessing that's what is happening here. But he does have a thigh cut. He does have a single joint at his knee with the swivel. And then, of course, he does have a nice ankle hinge as well as a rocker, with this being his widest stance with both of his feet flat on the ground. So that's his articulation out of the way. And again, we've talked about how his paint apps are great. I think his size is pretty good, but we'll do some size comparisons in a moment. What I do want to talk about is his accessories. And to do that, I'm going to bring out my bar here. This is the bar that came with the Cantina Showdown 3-pack that had Ponda Baba and Dr. Evazan and Obi-Wan Kenobi with the face face printing on him, and they came with 3 cups. And then Bib Fortuna came with the same 3 cups. I have some 3D printed cups here that I believe I got from either my co-host Zach from Black Series Cantina or Landspeeder Luke when he sent me some other stuff. I don't know. But we do get some cups. Now they are different looking at them. They're the same cups, but they're molded differently. So this is the original one. This is the one that comes with Momaw here. And it's just the same thing, but it's all black. So no paint on it. They skimped on the paint a little bit. It's just colored black, but that's okay. I feel like it's just a cup, and it's nice that we have some variety where it's not just the same cups released the same time. Then we have this little thing that looks like a, I don't even know. It looks like one of those little like plastic accordion things. And it's the same thing, but it's in gray. It's in gray now instead of black. They're just cups, but I will say, you know, one of the things that Momaw Nadon is known for is just being in a cantina. So what are you going to do? And again, this is the original right here. And then the new one, it's more of, I don't know, is this a tan or is it like an off-white? Something like that, where the original one is gray. So same 3 cups we've had before. Now we have 3 different versions, well, 2 different versions of the 3 different cup models available. If you have something like this, it's nice to add to it. But if you don't, it's just cups. What do you even do with your cups? Like I've got this sitting on my shelf with my Cantina patrons hanging out there. So again, we've got Greedo here, and we've got Dr. Evazan, and then of course we've got Pandababa. So we've got a nice little crew. I like them. It's kind of sad that, you know, outside of the Figrin Dan and Nail and Cheel, which is just Figrin Dan with different accessories, this is it in terms of the Cantina aliens. We haven't gotten any more Cantina aliens other than, you know, these 5 figures. And other than Greedo and Figrin Dan, all of these are pretty heavy reuse, although we haven't gone over the reuse in between Momaw Nadon and Doc Onder, and I'll look at that in a bit. I just keep wandering around. I should have done a script on this, but if I did that, I'm afraid that I would have never wanted to make the video. I'm making the video the way I'm making it. Anyways, this is our New Hope Mos Eisley Cantina, Chalmers Cantina crew right now, and it's nice. I want more. Hasbro, give us more. I want them, please. And of course, he does come with a blaster. Now, this is the same, just kind of, it's a Stormtrooper blaster. It's the older original one, not the newer one from The Mandalorian. So it has it doesn't have the flashlight attachment or the extended clip, but it's also just kind of a light gray paint with nothing on it. It does fit into his hand, and I guess I'm glad he comes with it, because I would want him to have some sort of blaster, I guess. They really should have delved into the original power, well, not the original, but the updated Power of the Force version that came out in 1996-97. I had that figure as well, and it was notable for one specific reason, and that is the blaster it came with. He came with a very specific blaster. So, of course, I just got a new one off eBay. These things are dirt cheap. This was like $10. It was like $13 shipped. So I got a new one because I've seen people, this blaster is so huge that it still works with the Black Series version. So I figured, why not just buy it and see? But before I do that, check out this price tag. Check out, this is a Walmart price tag, $4.76 from 1996. Now, the one I had the little hologram here. This is in that short time where they still had the green here, but they removed the hologram. The hologram was like right when they first got it. So Momaw Nadon Hammerhead with double barrel blaster, and let's just rip it open. I haven't done this in years. This is gonna feel fun. There we go. Somewhere Ken Plume might be watching this and thinking, oh, Mike, what have you done? I've shown you so many times how to do that without ripping it up and preserving the cards, but I don't care. Honestly, I don't even know what I'm going to do with this Momaw Nadon I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. Sort of a don't talk to me or my son ever again. Look at how inaccurate this was. I remember this being so cool at the time, back when these old 5 POA, but this is not what he looked like. I mean, it's more what he looked like in the movie than the original toy from the 70s. Let me tell you that. In fact, I would not mind if Hasbro ever wanted to do this one, but color it the Kenner colors. I would buy it. Hasbro, if you're listening, if you're watching. Kenner colors, Hammerhead, and Ponda Baba. We need them. I'll buy them, 100%. But I don't care about this at all. What I wanted was this ridiculously awesome blaster. It's like a double barrel blaster. Oh, this thing is gummy. It's not as sturdy as I remember it being. But I've seen people like my buddy Robo. I say buddy. I've talked to him. He's been on my podcast. I talked to him a couple times. Like, he's a nice guy. We're friends. But I saw him post pictures of it. Same thing with Corellian Collectibles. Sebastian, he was on my podcast as well. And he has done this. So I got this because for me and my money, Momaw Nadon needs his giant double barrel blaster. If he's going to be a rebel soldier, he needs this, and it works so well still. Like the blaster was so big back in the day that it's more scaled for the Black Series than it is for anything else. So this is probably not how I'll display. I probably will display it on here. I was gonna say I'll probably have him displayed with a drink in his hand because that's what we saw in the movie. But I don't know, like I went through all the trouble and paid the whole $10 to get that figure. That was mostly for this video, but I do like this a lot. I really do like it. So we'll see how I display it. But so for now, that's what's happening and that's what he's gonna look like. So after saying all that, let's remove it from his hand and let's compare him to some other figures. Mostly, let's compare him to Doc Ondar because this is where I want to know, like, how much reuse is there really on this figure? Number one, the head sculpt is completely different. It's not the same head, and it's vastly different. Like there's no way you could even confuse the two. Like he's got a more pronounced hump further up than he does. His is lower and a little more sloped. His has got little bumps and ridges. His mouths are way bigger than his on the side there. His head is actually just a lot bigger than this one. The painting, the coloring is different. I like it, but it is different. He does have different forearms, but the same shirt. It's the exact same shirt. And, without going crazy here, I'm guessing we have the same hands. Yeah. So different forearms because Momaw doesn't have these little wraps here. And then if we lift up his Jesus robe here, it's definitely the same legs, which is expected. That's not unexpected. Same feet, same legs, same skirt. I'm going to guess it's the same shirt underneath there. It's really hard to see. And I don't want to remove like all of his stuff here. I know people have done it. But I'm going to bet that it is the same underneath, just colored. So this one is kind of a gray, whatever color this is, and his was red brown. Again, I'm colorblind. Colors are weird, but so the body is pretty much the same except for the forearms and the head. The head is a lot different, but they are, other than that, the same. But different enough. I mean, they don't look the same at all. It's different enough to where, I like it. But let's compare this to other figures that are large. For instance, we have one of the larger figures in the line. This is Darth Malgus. Darth Malgus is a lot taller. And then, compare that to let's get him out of here. One of his fellow Cantina patrons. We have Greedo there. He's bigger. His head makes him bigger. His body isn't not bigger at all, but his head makes him bigger. Based on the Doc here, Doc Ondar, based on that, we pretty much knew that Momaw Nadon was going to be deluxe. We pretty much knew that because of his price. He was basically deluxe, but most of it was more expensive than deluxe, but most of that was because he came with a bunch of extra accessories. He comes with 4. He comes with 3 cups and a blaster. But I will say, with the paint and stuff on here, there's a lot more paint on him than there is on him. Like on his legs, these legs, other than his toenails, are not painted, but Momaw's has a really nice, shading and brushing on there. It really brings out a lot of the details. So it's not just painted plastic, but I like that they didn't just repaint Dok-Ondar and, call him Momaw Nadon. He is different. I just don't know if he's necessarily worth the deluxe price, unless you're just really, like me, into A New Hope, the Cantina scenes, and you really just, want to fill out those shelves. This guy is, I believe, fan channel exclusive. So you can only get him on like Hasbro Pulse or like other online retailers, ToySnowman, places like that. I got mine from Hasbro Pulse. I'm happy with it, but I don't think everyone will be happy with it, I guess is my caveat. I'm going to give him probably a 4 out of 5. I'm going to dock him a little bit because I do think paying that deluxe price is a little steep, and I really do think he should have come with a nod to that giant blaster. But I can't fault it too much. I'm glad that we got him. I don't love that it took so long to get him, but I'm happy with what he got. He's gonna look great on the shelf with all the other people from A New Hope, and I hope that we get more in the future. Hope it doesn't take another 5 years, 3 or 4 years to come out with some more Cantina aliens. I know next year is supposed to be their return to Tatooine kind of thing, and we're going to be getting a new Luke and a new Leia, and we'll probably I'm guessing we'll get some more A New Hope characters from that, but hopefully they'll be as good as this, because this is pretty good. This is good, especially, like I said, if you like this kind of thing, if you like this era of Star Wars, it's a must buy. So anyways, that's my review. Thanks for watching. If you like this and you want to see more, like, share, and subscribe. Hit that button. It helps me a lot. It helps the channel a lot. I don't post as much as I used to. I basically just post when I get the inkling to, and I still like it. But man, life's gotten crazy. There's a lot going on. When you get older, responsibilities, you can't make videos as often as you used to. And then if like something like a video game comes out, I've been playing Star Wars Outlaws, and that's taking up a lot of my time. Let me know what you think. If you want to help the channel out, you can become a YouTube membership. Here on the screen is going to be a list of all the people who are YouTube members. If you want to do that, like I said, that also helps out the channel a lot as well. But with that, thanks so much for watching. Thanks for getting this far, and I'll see you later. Bye.